Welcome to 17 Strong. Victories don't come by accident. Here's your host, Steve Teixeira.
Thanks, Andy. Welcome to another 17 Strong podcast. I'm your host, Steve Teixeira, along with my beautiful wife, Holly. Hi, babe.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We're still in Colorado.
I know. I'm loving this.
This is great.
I'm really excited about this interview.
Yes.
Yes.
One of Ryan's teammates.
Yes.
And he's been already off camera telling us all kinds of
I know.
stuff.
Fun things.
So,
Exactly.
you
So
do the
please
honors.
welcome Zach McLeod.
Hi,
Thanks for
Zach.
being here.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So you guys are just coming off a big weekend. We
Huge
just
weekend.
talked to the coaches. Not sure how this is going to air, but you guys
No.
just took the series from the number 3 team in the nation.
Yes.
And so you actually bumped them to number 4 now, and you guys went up to number 5.
Yep.
So
Something like
that's-
that.
That's really good.
That's huge for us.
Yeah.
As far as, down the road, that helps us in the long run as far as the RPI and the standings and all that. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
it's huge.
And just for the listeners, Zach is now a coach that helps out
Right.
with CMU.
Yeah.
So
you're
what is your
assistant-
title?
What's your title?
Graduate assistant.
Graduate
okay.
assistant.
And I'm
And how are
just-
you liking that?
I love it.
You love it. Like
you
to
know,
be in.
I've been gone for a little bit dealing with my own health issues and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I try to be there as much as I can and help
Yeah.
out and do whatever I can.
But you love baseball, and it's still in your life.
Exactly. That's all
Yeah.
that matters.
That's
is
all that matters.
I'm around the game and I get to help these young guys and
Yeah.
I know the program.
That's
so
right.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
get to help them out.
And you were one of the guys in the program.
Yep.
So when Ryan was here, you were the starting shortstop,
Yes.
and are you the same age as Ryan? Do you remember?
Yeah. He was 96, right?
Yeah, he was born '96.
Yeah.
Graduated high school in
14.
15.
Oh, I graduated in 14. So
Okay.
he was 1 year younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were like Garrett's age.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So you were starting shortstop as a freshman.
Mhm.
Yeah, for 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah,
You got
he
drafted,
really
didn't you?
Yep.
Yep.
Baltimore Orioles.
awesome.
Yep. You played
What
there
an
for a couple
experience.
seasons?
2 years I was there.
2 years?
Blew my knee out.
Oh.
Just then I fractured my hand
Ugh.
and just didn't really go as I planned it, I
Sure.
guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I got released right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
What? COVID ruined everything.
Yeah, they cut all those teams and all that stuff too. And
Yeah.
I kind of knew it was coming just because I had been injured and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. you know.
And
it is.
it was a great experience. You know what I mean? You can.
I met so many people that I
Yeah.
never thought I would have met, from the Dominican to Puerto Rico,
Yeah,
Cuba,
that's
all over the world.
amazing.
And
Is
I
it-
still keep in contact
You
with
do.
them.
You do. Anybody playing in the bigs today that you played with?
Oh, yeah. Gunnar Henderson, he was drafted with me the same year. He's in the bigs right now with the Orioles.
Nice.
Austin Hayes is a center fielder for them. I lived with him for a couple weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
Adley Rutschman, he was the number 1 pick from Oregon State. I played with him. I'm not sure who else, but
That's
yeah,
amazing.
But
it's cool to watch them
Sure.
do what they do.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
And those are stories you'll be able to tell your kids.
Absolutely.
you know?
it was a
then-
good experience. It was,
Yeah.
it was fun.
And
you
that a
know.
lot of people don't get. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't
Exactly.
get that experience.
Seeing your name, on the
Yeah.
TV, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to you're in college, and how did you meet Ryan? Tell me about that.
So, obviously Garrett and me and Garrett were friends, and I hadn't really. He told me about Ryan, but I didn't really know, obviously, because he wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
But he said, yeah, like my best friend's coming, and then he finally, once he was done with all the chemo and all that, then he came, and they were he wasn't roommates with him, but Ryan was in the dorms.
Yep.
And so we started hanging out and all that kind of stuff. And I went to the dorm room and I said, dude, this place is a mess. I was like, you guys need to clean this up. I was like, this is disgusting.
Him in Will's room?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was him and Will. And I was like, you guys are gross. I was like, clean this up. There was just stuff all over the
He
floor.
probably didn't have anything to. He's
No.
like,
Yeah.
It was just
like his room
everywhere.
at home.
Yeah. And so from there, we ended up, having a liking to fishing and all that kind of stuff. So we always fished and always did stuff. And obviously he couldn't be on the field at the time,
Sure.
but
Sure.
he was still doing his rehab from the surgery and all that kind
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And that, I guess that leads into the story of he was in the training room, and I was in there one night, and he was, the lady was massaging his scar out, and he goes, "Zach, come here." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Dude, come feel this." And you guys know the scar.
Yeah. It's huge.
It goes right up into his groin.
Yeah, it was his shorts were tucked up in there. He's like, "Dude, come over here. Like, come feel this." I was like, "No, dude, what are you talking about?" I was like, "Why would I come feel that?" He's like, "Dude, come here. Like, come on." And I was like, "No." I was like, "That's right next to your junk." I was like, "I'm not touching that, man." And he was like, "Dude, come on." And so
He has a way.
He convinced me to do it. And I was like, I touched it. I was like, "Oh." I was like, "No way." He's like, "It's a rock, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's hard." And he goes, "Yeah, she's massaging out right now." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm done." I was like, "I don't need to feel any more of that. I'm going to go do my knee exercises and get my rehab done myself."
Oh my God.
And it was just funny because
is
he just
something.
kept convincing me, "Come on.
What's
come
your
feel it."
problem? Yeah. What's your
I
problem?
was like, "Dude, I'm not touching there." Like, sorry. It was so
Typical
funny.
Ryan, right? And thank God you guys
hadn't
were in there
heard
by
that.
himself, by
And-
yourself.
Yeah, and he convinced me to.
Oh.
I don't know how.
Go
He
figure.
did.
Go figure. Yeah,
It was
that is
funny.
so. But that scar, and he loved like
It was crazy.
it was crazy. It was crazy. That scar is.
I saw. I
crazy.
mean, it's the size of a football.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah, and that's what I'm sure he
And-
told you guys that.
Yeah.
It was. It was
And I saw, like, that was the first time I'd actually seen it.
oh,
So I didn't, we'd been in the training room in and out, but I knew he was in there every day
yeah.
getting, the scar tissue out and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. But that was the first time I'd actually seen it, and I was like, "Dang."
I'm
was like,
and
"Oh
I'm
my
surprised
gosh."
actually because he really wanted everybody to see it. It was like his
Yeah.
badge of honor. Have you
Yeah.
seen my scar?
Yeah.
Like, let me show it to you.
Were you surprised that someone with that kind of wound was still out there playing baseball?
Oh, he loved it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's like, "When can I get out there? When can I get out?"
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
And then once he finally did, like, once they let him go out there, he was out there 24/7.
Yep.
Right.
After
Right.
practice, can I get some more ground balls? Like, who wants to take more ground balls? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Because
Let's
he
do
had
this.
to learn how to refield everything.
Yep.
Because that
Yeah.
muscle's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
So now he has to train other muscles to do
Exactly.
what.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy. And he was so dedicated, and he always wanted to, like, he was the first one there, last one to leave. And
Wow.
that was just, to me, that was, as an older guy, obviously we were somewhat the same age,
Right.
but he had just come into the program at that point, and seeing him being so dedicated and wanting to be the first one there, last one to leave, cleaning up, doing this, doing that, it was an eye-opener for me.
Wow.
And it motivated me too,
Sure.
So
Sure,
he
sure,
came
sure.
in as a leader, even though he wasn't
without
part of the
even
team.
being there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
being there, he was a leader.
Exactly. And it it was hard to watch because he wanted to be there so bad, but they had limitations for him.
Right.
Sure. And all he wanted to
And-
do was be normal. He just wanted to be normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And every time I hung out with him, I treated him normal.
Yeah.
I never went, "Oh, you had this going on, like,
Yep.
be careful," or this or that. It was like, "Dude, let's go."
Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
Let's go
yeah,
have
yeah.
fun.
And
Let's do
that's
it.
what he loved. That's what he loved.
And I didn't want to treat him like that.
That's right. So let's talk about when you first got there. What were your thoughts? Because when he first got here, he was 2 weeks out of treatment. And mind you, that January, he was in the hospital,
Yeah.
neutropenic, fever. It was bad. It was really bad. So he was and he had not been sick
Yeah.
prior to that. So it was like the last one really, really hurt. It was hard.
Yeah.
And so 2 weeks after, we packed up, we came. And so he was pasty white, bald head, coming on campus, and goes right to the baseball team. So what are your first thoughts? You're like,
I think Skip did a good job of it because
He-
right away, the very first thing, we were in the MavPav, and that was the first day because it was super cold, and we
Yeah, it
couldn't
was January.
practice. Yeah, we couldn't practice on the field. So Skip, we were in the MavPav, just hitting, doing drills and stuff, and Skip introduced him to everyone and said, "Hey, this is Ryan." He explained the whole story.
gotcha.
And obviously we knew prior But for the younger guys that had just come in that didn't really know, he, gave the whole speech about what Ryan had gone through and all that kind of stuff. And it was great. I think Skip did a really good job.
Okay.
And everyone
Preparing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And he, Ryan jumped up and was like, let's get after it. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a good day.
Yeah.
And like he was just the most charismatic, like just perfect human, really. And
That's amazing.
he walked into a room, he lit the room up.
Right.
He could be friends with anyone.
Anyone. He didn't have a stranger.
No.
Yeah, and that's why he was late to class, and that's why he was.
Yeah. It was
he
so
wanted to talk
easy.
to anybody.
It was so easy for him just to go up to a stranger and be like, "Hey, how's your day going?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. Or hi,
What
I'm
do you
Ryan.
need?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
always say that.
Like, what's up? Like, what do you need?"
Exactly.
We can all learn from that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I need to be better at that myself.
Yeah.
Because
We all
I'm
do.
not like that either.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
when you
great.
look back at it, it's crazy.
Yeah. And it was. I'm trying to remember, we had the kickoff dinner, which is in February.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking really decent at that. His hair was coming in.
Yeah.
He didn't look like a cancer kid at that time.
Yeah.
So it was, it wasn't long after he felt, his coloring was coming back and he was really feeling more,
Yeah.
of course he was enjoying being here, probably
Exactly.
more so than the average person because he was
100%.
living on his own and in college.
Got that freedom a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. So he was living his best life. And so that was great. And that's all he looked forward to when he was going through treatment is, hey, I got to get this
wanna get
wrapped up
back.
because I want to go to school.
Right.
Yep. And I want to go see my, baseball family. And so that was really good. And I told the story a little bit that, once Steve and I dropped him off, he cut ties with Steve and I. He was at the baseball, at
was
dinners,
everything.
everything. He was all in.
This is college. This is my time.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I think that's necessary, though.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And we understood that. It was
Exactly.
just hard for us because we'd been with him 24/7 in the
Exactly.
hospital,
And that's a different situation.
Totally different. Totally
Completely
different
than
situation.
just dropping off, your kid.
Healthy.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's 100% different. I know you guys are probably worrying and going crazy.
yeah, but
hey,
we knew-
call us right now.
Yes.
You need to call us at this time. We need
Yeah.
to check in and this and that. But I think that was good for him just to be able to be around the guys.
Yeah.
Go out,
Absolutely.
have a drink,
Yes,
do this, do
yes.
that.
Yeah.
And it was
He was
fun.
18, so maybe
He
not
was-
a drink.
No,
but
it was fine.
Yeah.
He did.
But
He talked the doctors into letting him have some things. He's like,
Yeah.
seriously, I've been through this. I deserve it.
Yeah,
I'm like, absolutely
exactly.
you do. You do deserve it because he was going through hell. But
Exactly.
So you guys like to go fishing, I understand.
Yes. We got a good fishing story. So we went out. It's called Connected Lakes. We went. You have to pay to get in. And it's these little lakes. There's like 3 of them connected to each other. They're all separate, but like they're all right there. And so we pull the truck up, get all our stuff out. And Ryan, we all walk over. There's this table there, like a bench table thing. Ryan puts all his stuff on there. And so Ryan goes this way, like kind of right in front of the bench. I go like, 30, 40 yards to the left of him. And I think it was Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will. Will went like another 30, 40 yards. I'm not sure if I don't know if Garrett was there.
I
or
thought
not.
it was Garrett, but Garrett said he wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was Garrett, but maybe it was Will.
Well,
I'm
Will
with
said
you.
he was
I
there.
thought it was Garrett, but maybe it was Will.
We know for a fact it was Will.
It was Will.
It was Will, but
So
I
it
don't
was
know if
Will.
Garrett was there also. But
It was just 3 of us.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
then it was
so
Will.
Then it was Will.
Yeah.
And Will went like, 50 yards to the left of me, and we're kind of just, going back and forth, finding little spots. And I'm walking down, and it's like this tall grass, thick brush to get down to the river, or like the little lake. And I step on something, and I go, oh! Like, freaked out. Ryan comes running over. What? Like, did you get a big fish? Like, he was trying to help me. He thought I caught, like, a big bass or something. And I was like, no, dude, I just stepped on a snake. And he was like, what? He goes, where is it? I was like, I don't know, dude. I stepped on it and went over here. He dove in the bushes trying to find this thing.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, what was it? I was like, I don't know, dude. I stepped on it and it just took off. He runs over full speed, grabs this thing, and has it by the head.
He picked it up.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'm terrified of snakes. Terrified. So I was
You and
like,
me both.
I was like, dude, like, get away from me.
Get away.
He's like, dude, just come grab it. And I was like, nope, not gonna happen. And he's just holding it. And I was like, dude,
What was
get
it? A
away.
little gopher snake or something?
I don't know what it was. It was. I'm assuming it was like gardener snake or gopher or something like
Okay.
that. But I was like, dude, get away from me.
Get away. I don't like
I was like,
this
I don't
thing.
want it.
He's taunting you with a snake.
Yeah. He's like, dude, just come grab it. He's like, I got it by the head. It's not gonna bite you. I was like, no, not gonna happen. Will had no idea what was going on. He was way gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, no, not gonna happen. So then he puts it down, and we start walking back. Go to the bench. Everything's gone.
Everything's gone. All your
And
fishing
like there's
tackle
there's a trail that people can walk on right next to it, and people were coming and going and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, but everything was gone. And Ryan looked at me. He's like, "Did you grab my stuff?" I was like, "No." I was like, "You were just with me. How would I have grabbed your stuff?" So we're like, "What the hell? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where's it all? Like, it was a lot of fishing gear."
Yeah.
And so we start looking. We're kind of looking around, like people walking by, and we call Will over. Hey, what's going on? Like, did you grab the stuff? What, like, where is it? He didn't have it. And so it's like on the other side of like the little walkway trail, it goes down like 20, 30 feet of just like tall brush and trees and stuff. And then it's the river with rocks and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And Will sees a homeless dude down there with a bunch of fishing gear. So we walk, he beeline down there. So me and Ryan followed, and he starts yelling at him, "Hey, like, that's our stuff. Like, what are you doing? Like, you stole our stuff." And it was like a 15-minute confrontation.
So Ryan was yelling at him.
No, Will was.
Oh, Will was yelling at
Yeah,
him.
Will was.
You yelled
Will
at
was
you.
like, "Dude, I'm gonna I'll kill it. Like, I'll beat you right now. Like, what's like, you took our stuff."
You took my stuff. Yeah.
And the guy was just like, he wasn't like really responding. He was just kind of like sitting there. And then Will like started walking at him. He goes like, all right. And he dropped it all, and then he just took off. It was the weirdest thing.
Wow.
So crazy.
It was so weird.
So crazy.
But he just, Ryan left to come help me, and then the dude saw an opportunity and took it.
Took it.
And then
That's the craziest
did
thing.
Ryan, we had heard a story very similar, but Ryan had told the guy, hey, if you wanted to learn how to fish,
We'll teach you.
we'll teach you.
Yeah.
You know?
He did
said
tell-
that.
He did
Yeah.
say that.
He said that to him. He's like, you don't have to steal our stuff. If you want us, like, if you want to come fish with us, like, we have an extra rod. You can come fish with us. We'll help you.
That is so Ryan right there.
Yeah, that's just so like Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
Don't take my stuff. I'll show you how to fish, or I'll show you how to hunt, but you don't need to steal something.
Yeah.
He was willing to do that, even though the guy had already stolen the stuff.
Yeah.
He was willing, like, dude, if you just give it back to us, we'll let you use it.
Yeah.
We'll help you out.
But it probably would have never happened had he not focused on the snake.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, right? The snake
And that
is
was
funny.
I was like, oh, and he thought I caught a big fish or something.
Yeah. But
And
he
then,
was
like,
probably
lit-
stoked about the snake.
Oh, he was. But the first thing he said when he walked over was, your line's not even in the water. Why are you saying, oh? I was like, dude, I stepped on a snake. Like, it was so funny.
That is funny. Yeah, when he
And-
was in high school, his principal asked him to get gardener snakes so that they would like take
Oh,
care
really?
of the
Gophers.
The
They were
gophers.
gopher snakes. but
Gopher
yeah.
Gopher snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a thing for
He did.
snakes,
He did
but
love
anyways.
snakes. Yeah.
He dove in there.
Yeah.
So what do
He's
you
funny.
remember? Because he got very limited
Mm-hmm.
batting practice and ground balls and everything else like
It's
that.
always
But
limited.
Mm-hmm.
what do you remember most about that? What stood out in your mind when he's out there doing it?
Well, I guess he was always pushing the trainers to let him go,
Right.
like, and the coaches too.
Right.
Let me do it. And they're like, no coach wants to say like, dude, no, you can't,
Right.
or no trainer wants to say no, you can't.
Yeah.
So that was hard to see, because you could see how bad he wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt bad because like I was like, dude, like I'll stay with you and take some extra GBs. Like I'll stay with you, but they wouldn't let him. And he only had so much mobility at the time with the scar and all that. And so like it was hard because I know he wanted to do it,
Yeah.
but he couldn't.
It's just hard.
And obviously I know he felt the same way too, because he didn't move the same as he used to.
Right.
Sure. Sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I know that as an athlete, when nothing compared to what he went through, but I had knee problems and this and that, and like once you realize I can't do what I used to do.
Right.
Sure.
It changes.
It does change.
It's like I wouldn't say depressing, but it's like
it's frustrating.
it's a shot to the heart. Like
Right.
I used to be able to do this and I can't now.
Now you have to figure out a workaround.
Absolutely.
And so, it was hard for me to watch because I knew how good he like could have been, but he just wasn't able to do it.
Right.
Which was, and it was really sad.
Did you ever see him give up?
Never. He always wanted to be the last one there.
Yeah.
He always wanted more. Another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
Didn't like it. One more.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah.
One more. One more.
Always.
It was always.
Some of the best pictures we got from his days here at the college was taking batting practice, and just the smile on his face.
He was so happy.
Grinning from ear to ear, doing what he loved to do.
He was so happy. Once he actually got to be able to be in BP and all that kind of stuff, he was always a happy kid, regardless.
Right.
But once he actually was like, saw his name on BP, ecstatic.
Yeah.
And whether he rolled over 5 times or popped up 5 times, he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Exactly.
And he was so happy.
Okay, so I have a question for you. How would you describe Ryan's personality? And then how would you describe him as a player?
As a player, it's tough because I really didn't get to see much of that.
But his
definitely a
personality.
leader, 100% a leader, for sure. Always sees the good in everything, I guess you could say. He's always positive.
Yeah.
Never looking back at things, but always looking forward.
I love that.
And just, I guess the best way to say it is just happy.
Happy. Always happy. Yes.
He made everyone else happy too. It wasn't even for himself. He walked in and everyone immediately, "What's up, dude? How you doing?" Like, he just made everyone else happy around him, whether he was happy or not inside, which I think he was.
Yeah.
Which the happiest people sometimes drown things out.
Sure. No,
But I think he was just literally the happiest person I've ever met. He was always energetic, always charismatic, always influential, always a leader, even though he didn't know he was doing that stuff.
Yeah.
There was little things he did, and people would be like, dang.
Yeah.
I need to be more like that.
Right.
Or, just little things like that.
And do you feel like the team accepted him
100%.
like right away? Or did it take him to earn that?
He didn't have to earn it.
Wow.
We knew right away.
Wow.
Everyone did.
So were you part of the challengers? Did you go on the...
I was not able to go.
You weren't able to go.
I tried to.
Yeah.
But there was no other people left
Gotcha.
for me to be a buddy for.
Gotcha.
But you remember the story then when he came back, he wasn't feeling good, the whole 9 yards.
And he went to the doctor.
What was your reaction when you heard that Ryan had been hospitalized again?
So Garrett had told me that he had been sick for like a month, and I had also talked to Ryan about it too. He's like, dude, I can't shake this cold. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then Garrett told me, yeah, he's back in the hospital. And I said, what do you mean? Like, for what? And he goes, yeah, they said his white blood cell count was super low. That's why he couldn't shake the cold. So they sent him back to the hospital. So at that point, I was like, dang. I was like, that's not good. And then, a couple weeks later? It wasn't even a couple weeks.
No.
It was the next
matter of days.
It was a couple days later.
Yeah.
We had the series at home, and it was the day before the series. And Skip texted everyone at like 10:30 at night. Everyone to the clubhouse right now. And I was like, shit. And I guess this was past. I guess I went a little ahead of myself.
That's okay. You can go ahead.
This was the night that he had passed. So that was long before.
Yeah.
So when I found out about that, yeah, I knew he had been flown to UCLA and all that.
But you were part of the meeting that he
Right.
called before he got on the airplane.
Yes.
Right. So there was 45 kids. Would you venture to say that everybody on the team was there? Because
I'm
I don't,
almost 100% positive everyone was there.
because
I think so too. That room was full.
it was packed, and then we were all in there, and then he told all of us to leave, which
Yeah.
was all of the adults, the coaches, and it was just players.
Yeah,
in there.
you're talking about when we were at the hospital.
At the
Yes,
hospital.
yes, everyone was there.
Yeah.
Everyone was there.
There was-
I remember I still have it. If I had my phone, I could look at it. It'd take me a while, but I have a picture of it on my phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I actually posted on Instagram too.
Yes. It was.
and I'm right next to him.
You're
Yeah.
right.
And
next to him.
that day sucked.
But we have no idea what you guys all talked about.
And we
in
don't
there.
want to know. We're
And
not
we
asking
don't.
you to.
Yeah, I
No.
remember he asked everyone to leave the room.
Yeah.
all the adults.
Because what was said was between him and his
And us.
brothers.
Yeah.
And
It
a true
was-
brotherhood was formed that day.
It was crazy,
And
Yeah.
no one.
and he was so strong.
Yep.
He literally was in the wheelchair, and he said his piece, and he said, "This is what I have to go do. I'm gonna beat the hell out of this, and I'll be back here shortly."
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what he said.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was just, in our perspective of it, there was just no. There was not a dry eye. People were bonded in this moment that honestly y'all shouldn't have had to go through. Really, it was just a moment that made you guys so much stronger and built so much character.
I was glad that we were able to go see him though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was it.
and they
Because-
allowed them to do.
That's what I mean.
The hospital allowed it.
But Ryan made sure.
He made
told
sure.
He goes, I'm not leaving here till I see my boys.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
That's
made
what
a
I mean.
big deal about it.
Because I remember I got Skip texted and said, "Hey, if you guys aren't in class, if you guys aren't doing this, you need to come over here." And I didn't even see the text. JJ told me. He said, "Yo, we're going over to the hospital right now." And I go, "What? What happened?" He goes, "Ryan's there. He wants to see us. He's leaving today."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay."
We had the helicopter on the pad
Yeah, it
for
was sitting
2
there.
hours.
It was sitting there.
Yeah, waiting for everybody because he wasn't leaving until he
Yeah.
got to see everybody.
And so it was awesome that we got to see him. Unfortunately, that was the last time,
Right.
Yeah.
but I was happy that I was able to
Yeah.
at least see him, give him a hug,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
just tell him I loved him and that kind of stuff.
So
Because
you did tell him.
yes,
Oh, he
that's
didn't.
amazing.
That's amazing. Because he told so many guys, "I love you," and they wouldn't tell him back. And he was like, "No, I want you." And I just feel like that was super special because he was just that kind of guy. He was
That's
just
who he
that,
was.
and it didn't matter. He didn't care. He wasn't too macho to say it to
there's
you.
no need to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was what was so special
Yeah, there's
about
no
him.
need to be.
He made it cool. He made it really.
So you kind of alluded to this earlier, but fast forward now it's March 4th.
Mm-hmm.
You get the text from Skip. Everybody to the clubhouse right now.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock at night. You guys don't have a clue what's going on.
I-
Walk us through that.
So we got the text. It was 10:30 the night before the game the next day. I kind of knew. I had a feeling that was what it was because we don't have 10:30 meetings. So I got the text, and JJ's right next to my room, and I walked in and I said, "Hey, do you see the text?" And he was just like, "Yeah, I saw it, dude." We all kind of knew. And we were just like, dang. No way. And, so we lived right next to the clubhouse, so we just walked down there. Once everyone funneled in, Skip, said what had happened and all that, and it was just dead silent. The whole room, dead silent. For about an hour. I think Garrett talked for a little bit, but everyone was crying. It just wasn't a good time. And at that point, after, it was probably 11:30-ish, 12, people started to kind of funnel out. And there was 5 or 6 of us that stayed. Me, JJ, Garrett, Will, I think Druce was still in there. And we're all just staring at the floor, just like,
In disbelief.
yeah, like what just happened? And so we all, kind of got together, like, picked each other up, that kind of stuff. Like, let's go. Like, we got a game tomorrow. Let's play tomorrow for him. When we walk out of the clubhouse and there's half the team out there taking a BP for him. They're all hitting BP. They turn the lights on and they're all taking hacks.
At midnight.
And we have a game at 2:00. And they're all out there taking BP. And so we walked out. We're like, what the hell's going on? Like, what is this? And so we go out there. And somehow, I guess some of the softball girls found out. I'm not sure how, if someone texted them or what.
Well, we know how word of mouth works and,
Exactly.
and texting and everything else.
And they brought a bunch of flowers. So we finished doing the BP. They brought all the flowers. They put them at third base. And then we formed like a huge circle. And everyone was just holding hands. And we just did like a little prayer. And people, individually kind of went down, said what they wanted to say. And it was I don't think there's anything that you can like compare it to.
No.
It was super sweet that the fact that they found out and reached out to us. Like they were just sitting in the bleachers with flowers waiting until we were done doing what we were doing, and then they came out and put the flowers down, and the next day at BP they were still there. And no one took ground balls at third base. No one. And
you guys played Colorado Christian that day.
Yeah, so that next day, that was tough for me because normally we all go out to the field. You have your middle infielders right behind second, pitcher, catcher right here, outfielders out there. That day we didn't do it. We laid Ryan's jersey out. We left the empty space right there on the line. And that was super emotional. And then for me, I remember I ran from that line and I knew no one was going to be at third, and his jersey was there. So I ran by and I just tapped his jersey twice and I went to short. And then the whole time, first baseman's throwing out ground balls and stuff. I just kept looking over like, this isn't real. And yeah, it was really tough. At one point I said, I don't want any more ground balls. And I was just looking over there because I know he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that was the day that I started writing 17 right to my left. So every time I'd go back to short, right before the game started, I wrote 17 in the dirt next to me.
Wow.
And even if it was turf, just for my sake.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
1-7.
Sure.
And that was just something, that was a super emotional day. And they did the first pitch without anyone out there too.
Right.
And that being right next to me, it was really hard. But
Wow.
And after the first pitch, what happened after that?
that's when Garrett came out.
Garrett came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he put the jersey on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I went over and gave him a hug. And it was just a super emotional day.
Yeah.
It was
But
a
they were
tough day.
super respectful too, because I don't think
Yeah,
that they even
they-
tried to do anything with that one pitch, which was
They understood the situation. They knew what was going on.
yeah. Which is I just think that's amazing.
It's
The
a
whole
class
thing
act.
was amazing.
It was super nice by them.
Yeah,
class
yeah.
act.
I think that was very classy.
And
Yeah,
it
that was wow.
even when I played pro ball, I still wrote the 1-7.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
And
Yeah, no.
He
had
left an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
100%.
was
You, Bly, when
Yeah.
all you guys got to the bigs, were always sporting your wristband or anything to do with 17 Strong, and we're so appreciative of that.
yeah. We probably need to talk about the tattoos.
oh yeah, the tattoo story.
I'd like to
Okay.
hear the tattoos.
Oh, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sandy.
When was this? When was the time frame? Do you think?
I think it was really shortly after.
Okay.
Sandy had texted in we had like a group chat. Sandy had texted in there and said, "Hey, I have a tattoo lady. She used to work at a shop, but now she does it from home because she doesn't like drunk people coming in here and getting dumb tattoos. So she works from home. She has clients, this and that. If any of you guys want to get a tattoo, she opened up her whole day for us to get tattoos because she knows what's going on."
Oh.
And so literally it was about over half the team all showed up. And everyone just kind of picked whatever they wanted. Some guys did the actual 17 strong, the numerals, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
We've seen a variety, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone did their own thing.
Sure.
But she just hand drew it right there.
They're amazing.
She was like, "What do you want?" And they'd say, Roman numerals of this and this and this. And she would just draw it and she'd be like, "Does this look good?"
Oh gosh.
Put it on, stencil it, and then put it on. And so, yeah, we literally just showed up at her house. And she probably did around 30 that
30.
day.
Wow.
30 people that day.
And she said, "It's all free. Like, we don't want money." Like,
Oh, my
she's like, "I don't want any
goodness.
money. Like, this is for you guys. I want you guys
That's
to
crazy.
like,
So
have a
Sandy
good
has one
experience."
too.
Mhm.
Sandy has one.
Yes.
And
Well, there's a lot of guys that do. 'Cause
They
I
do.
remember They were
Yeah, there's-
posted all over social media.
Yeah.
There's about 30 of us. that
Yeah.
got
there
it.
is amazing.
And so yeah, I got there like right when everyone showed up, and she kind of asked everyone like as a group like, "Oh, what do you want? What do you want?" And so she kind of drew out multiple different things.
Oh, okay.
And then me and JJ wanted the one that I got.
Okay.
And she's like, "I'm gonna have to do you guys last because I'm gonna have to shade some color in there and this and that. The other guys are just like numerals and stuff like that. Those
Sure.
are easy. She's like,
Okay.
I could do those quick."
Oh my gosh.
So I sat there for like 6 hours. Me and JJ were just hanging out, sitting
Hours
there.
of
waiting.
Wow.
And
17
then-
strong or whatever. Now, my question to you too, because it does have, did Ryan ever talk to you about 17 strong?
No.
Never.
He never made anything
You know-
about him.
He started that nonprofit in 2016, but we just were never able to do anything because he got re-diagnosed,
Yeah.
and so all the paperwork was done, and I don't know anyone that he said it to.
Never said anything.
So you learned about it afterwards,
After the fact, yeah.
after the fact. And what were your first initial thoughts? What? 17 strong?
Well, at first I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, what is it?
Right.
And, once I kind of found out what it was about and what it was, that's what we break down to now. To this
Yes.
day.
To this
still.
day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
right here, 17 strong.
Yeah. That's
And that's
amazing.
what it is. And, I had no idea.
Yeah.
He never said anything.
I thought for sure he'd say something to somebody here because at home he just didn't want it to be about him. And I'm like, it's not about you. It's about others, because now I'm in with, 2 feet, and I know that he is changing lives so much
100%.
today.
Yeah.
Like it is a legacy that I just had no idea about. And
It's crazy.
It's crazy that I get to be a part of this amazing
Yeah.
organization that he started. He started it, which
That's what I mean. At that age,
blows
to be able to, like, have, like,
the foresight,
I
the
would have
idea.
never thought.
Yeah.
I would have never
Never.
thought of doing something like that.
Never,
myself.
ever. Even if
Which
you
is
were
crazy.
denied, but now there's such a need out there
It's
that
insane.
that we get to do, and that's why I'm like, he left us a purpose for a lifetime of
Yeah.
purpose through 17 strong, but he never mentioned it to anybody. Nobody. That's what's so amazing.
I never heard about it until after.
After. Okay.
So Zach, I want to touch on something because you had tragedy strike twice for you. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? This is after Ryan's passing, of course.
Yeah, so my brother ended up passing away from overdose. He had got mixed in with the wrong people. He was sober for 9 months. He was at work. He was eating lunch. He did construction. So the company he worked for was they built skate parks in like underprivileged areas, so that was something the kids could do instead of going out and gangbanging or doing drugs or this or that. So he was on the job building a skate park. Went to lunch, and OSHA showed up. He didn't have his helmet on while he was eating lunch, so they kicked him off the job site that day. And he got in the dude's face, yelled at him, "I'm eating lunch," like whatever. And then the dude fired him on the spot. So, and he had his temper for sure. He's a crazy dude. But so yeah, I guess he went, found some bum underneath a bridge, asked him to use with them, and it had fentanyl in it.
Oh man.
And I was in Florida at the time, playing for the Orioles, and I guess they didn't. What I was told was they didn't find him for 2 days, and so my dad, he's an undercover investigator, so he drove out to Texas. He was in Texas.
He was in Texas.
Okay.
So he drove out there to identify him, and it was my brother. And so they didn't tell me for 3 days
Wow.
because they didn't want me, they didn't know how I would react. And then 2 days before that, I had just blown out my knee, so I was done for the season. So they didn't know what I was going to do, unfortunately. So they didn't tell me.
They didn't tell you.
They told everyone I knew. They told the head coach. They told my roommates. Keep an eye on him. We're going to call him tonight. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, pretty much is what they were saying.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that call, and I just didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
It's just tough. I mean, you go through things in life, and it's part of life. Things happen. You don't wish them to happen.
No.
You don't want them to happen. But unfortunately, that's part of it. And
What was your reaction when you were told?
Initially, I was just stagnant, like in shock, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't really know how to feel. I guess I hadn't taken it in yet.
Yeah, it's a process. You have to process it all.
And, about 15, 20 minutes went by, and then I got off the phone with my dad. And 3 or 4 of my buddies from the Orioles came in. They brought in beer. Said, "Yo, like, we're not going out tonight." It was our off day. We're not going out tonight. We're going to chill in the hotel room. We'll have some beers with you, hang out, and we'll just take it, as it is. And I don't think it really processed for me until I got on the plane to go back home. And my head coach there was super great. Good. He said, "Whenever you need to go, let me know. I'll call this person. They'll get a flight for you. You're out of here. Yeah. And then whenever you want to come back, just give me a call. I'll have a flight set up for you."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't think it really. I guess I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Until I finally got home.
Sure.
Yeah.
Once I was on the plane, then your mind starts racing a little bit.
Sure.
I didn't believe it until I actually got home, and once I saw my parents, and then seeing them cry.
Oh yeah.
That was when I was like this is real.
That's real.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
So I mean, it is what it is. You know, we've done a lot for him.
Yeah.
There's a skate park in his name.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Is that in Southern California? Where is
it's
that?
in Lake Elsinore,
Lake Elsinore.
and they put his ashes in the concrete, so it's
Oh,
inside
wow.
That's
of.
amazing.
And then we did a whole trip up the coast of. He was in Oregon a lot, so we went to a bunch of different skate parks and like scattered ashes and this kind of
That's
stuff.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, it's been good. Yeah, it's always tough.
Sure.
I always think about him.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
feel like it changed your perspective of life a little
100%.
bit? Yeah. Like
It does. It shows you
you
that
value
it's
a little
that
bit more.
like it shows you how quick it could be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even just driving home.
Yep.
It could be gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
know.
You don't know. And you just appreciate things so much more.
I do. I
You-
really do. It's
and
as
I
far
know you've had some struggles with health right now. So
yeah.
you
It-
really appreciate
and that's
things.
that's what I mean. It's scary too. You know, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's I think it makes you appreciate people more,
Sure.
whether it's a friendship, girlfriend, this, that, whatever.
Family.
Yeah, mom and dad.
Family,
whatever
friends.
It is.
It makes you appreciate it more
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because tomorrow
Isn't
you might get a call.
guaranteed.
We're not.
Tomorrow is
we're
not guaranteed.
guaranteed anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so it's scary for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
100% it's scary.
Yep.
But you also need to live your life and enjoy it.
Mhm.
And that's what I've been trying to do, especially with my health stuff going on.
Right.
I'm just trying to enjoy life
Absolutely.
and do
And give back.
And
what I
That's
need
what-
to do.
Absolutely. And we just are firm believers in living one day at a time.
Exactly.
right.
Because you just don't know.
If you
just
wake
don't
up
know.
the next day, it's a great day.
It's a great day.
right.
It's a great day, and we're good. I also want to go one more place too. When you guys came out for the service, I know what my feelings were, and they were all over the place. But to line that up and to make it happen, because the president allowed you guys to drive to the team, because you guys were able to drive, take the bus, come to the property, experience that.
Yeah.
Could you walk through that a little bit? Tell me
pulling
your thing.
in the bus, I was like, dang, this place is crazy.
You got to live there.
What?
And
I was like, what a
hunt there.
nice place.
Yeah, it's a
I was
beautiful
like, look
place.
at all these houses, like everything. I was like, this is insane. And then once we got out of the bus and we walked into the barn, that was when it got really emotional. Seeing everything, and obviously just taking in the moment of how amazing the place was, and understanding that he wasn't there also, and seeing all the shrines and everything of him and pictures and all that kind of stuff was super sad. So I left to go get some air and just kind of to walk around and look out, and then JJ followed me too because he couldn't do it either.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think multiple guys did that.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I was kind of in my own headspace at the
Absolutely.
Yep.
time.
And I'd let all you guys know this isn't for everybody.
No.
You know.
And it was amazing that we were able to get there and do that. Just because, and the hospitality was great, and everyone had, in the worst of time, we had a great experience there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still tough to do for sure. But I think everyone there, enjoyed what we got to do there, to be able to see where he came from and be able to see where he grew up and all the little things like that.
And it meant the world to us.
Exactly, and we wanted to be there for
and
you
we
guys.
told the coaches that, and that's the comment that we get all the time is, just seeing the team lined up at the high school, when Ryan's casket was moved down the
that
grass,
was an amazing experience too.
that was just so moving,
Standing there during that was incredible.
Yeah.
I still get comments to this day, like, how did they? I said, I don't know. I don't even know how, because there was times where we didn't think that was going to happen, because there was all these logistics that had to happen for the bus to get there, and so there was a period of time that you guys weren't going to be able to go. But for you guys to do that made such an impact on just not only Steve and I and our family, but the community.
Yeah.
The community.
It was amazing.
It was,
And like just being able to be there
yeah,
and stand there, and obviously it was emotional.
Yeah.
so emotional.
But just being able to like stand there and be a part of it
and you could
was
see
amazing.
that how many people that he touched in just his 20 years of
Exactly.
life.
It was crazy.
There was
so many people there.
So many. Well, we've been told, I don't know if it's accurate, but 3,000 people.
Over
Yeah,
3,000.
it was
Yeah.
it was so
3,000
packed.
people. Were
And like I even was like I was standing there and I was like, look at all these people. I was like, what am I doing standing in
That's
the
right.
front right here? Why, like, these
But
people?
that was so interesting, though, because there were so many things, like I said, that went into it, because we were wanting to do it on the property.
Yeah.
And Steve's like, Holly, you have to come to grips. It's not, we can't logistically get that many cars in here.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was just, it's
It was awesome.
great to,
But on the flip side, I don't want to say it propelled you, but you guys took Ryan's spirit with you into an incredible season.
yes.
We did.
Where you guys went on to play for a title for the championship. Came in third place, but it was still a remarkable run.
It was insane.
And you guys were an incredible team and still are incredible human beings
Absolutely.
that we're still very close to this day.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing you guys after the game, and you guys gave us a speech, and I remember giving you guys both a hug, and that was a bummer of a day,
Yeah.
losing 1-0.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know, we had Ryan in our hearts, and that was it. Happened to be 2017 too,
Yeah,
of course,
2017.
and that was just the blessing of it.
Yeah.
Was
Yep.
getting to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we believe that too. We do
Yeah.
believe that. It was just amazing year, and to be able to bond with all of you guys, that just means so much to me personally, because not having Ryan, but be able to see what you guys are doing throughout life, it makes it does something to my heart. So
It's great.
I can't thank you guys enough just to be in part of it.
be part of your family.
Yeah.
So
forever.
Always family.
So,
we love your mom and dad. We
We
had the
do.
opportunity to have break bread with them in
yes. that
Southern
was
California,
fun.
and
Yeah.
we're due to see them again. But
Yeah.
Zach,
Of
thank
course.
you for
Absolutely. Thank
taking
you.
time out of coaching today and your busy schedule to be here with us, and
Absolutely.
for all that you do to help spread the word about 17 Strong.
Yes. Thank
I always
you.
will. And
Thank
thank
you.
you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
It's our pleasure. So with that, we'll wrap up another
Yes.
17 Strong podcast. And thank you to our studio engineer
Yes.
and
Theo Smith
Yeah.
and our
and then Nate Hand is back home going to put all this together for us. So
Yeah.
remember, attitude is everything.
Everything.
You've been listening to 17 Strong. Victories don't come by accident. To be part of the show, make a donation, or request more information, go to 17strong.org. That's SEVENTEEN strong.org.